First you play with love, and then you throw it away. Why do you use me? Try to confuse me. How can you stand to be so cruel? Why don't you free me from this prison for certain time?
Yes, sir, it's a shame. You ever wondered who owns the story of the world? There is an old saying that history is written by the victors, but that statement is incomplete. History is not only written by the victors, it is curated, edited, commercialized, and sold by them. And this is not just the story of America. It is the story of the world. From Africa to the Americas, from Asia to the Middle East, global history has been reshaped through conquest, colonization, and economic domination. The result is a world that is hopelessly divided, not because humanity lacks shared values, but because memory itself has been fractured. When I say hopelessly divided, I mean this. We no longer share a common understanding of who we are, where we come from, or why the world looks the way it does. And we're talking about human beings. Our histories have been separated from our identities. Our stories have been removed from our hands. And in that vacuum, something else has taken root. You see, the erasure of spiritual, which comes before religious and cultural memory, across the globe, especially in Africa, ancient systems of knowledge, spirituality, governance, and community were not simply defeated. They were displaced. In their place rose a new organizing force, religious capitalism, a fusion of moral authority and economic power that justified conquest, extraction, and hierarchies. This system presented itself as civilization, progress, and salvation, while quietly severing generations from their cultural memory. Languages were lost. Sacred practices were outlawed. Oral histories were dismissed as myth. Entire civilizations were reduced to footnotes or erased altogether. What replaced them was a global economic order that rewarded domination and called it success, if you were part of the victors. Power, empire, and the myth of superiority. It is important to speak clearly here. This is not about condemning entire peoples or cultures. It is about a system of empire, systems that were militarily superior, technologically advanced, and willing to use extreme violence to secure power. Guns, ships, industrial warfare reshaped the world faster than human ethics could keep up. Victory became proof of righteousness. Survival became evidence of superiority. And once power was secured, the story followed. But it is precisely that wisdom that explains how we got here. We have failed collectively to protect global history, not because the truth disappeared, but because we allowed convenience, profit, and power to replace responsibility. Here, history is not just about the past, it is a moral compass. When history is distorted, injustice looks inevitable, inequality looks natural, exploitation looks deserved. But when history is restored, something powerful happens. We remember that civilizations thrived long before conquest. We remember that greatness existed without domination. We remember that humanity advanced through cooperation, not just conquest. If we wish to honor the vision of those who came before us, we must do more than celebrate, sanitize heroes. We must question inherited narratives, defend suppressed histories, censor the voices of those once erased. This is not about rewriting history again. It's about widening the lens. It's about telling the full story, the uncomfortable story, the human story, because the true greatness of any nation or civilization is not found in how much it conquered, but in how honestly it remembers. The story of the world does not belong to the victors alone. It belongs to the builders, the healers, the storytellers, the ancestors. Those names were never recorded, but whose labor shaped the earth beneath our feet. To reclaim global history is not an act of revenge. It is an act of restoration, and restoring the truth, we restore ourselves. But I have a word for our own community. Please don't trade your people's safety for a seat at somebody else's table. You will only get crumbs. Now let me talk to my non-brothers and sisters as I heard it in your spirit. Those who rush to co-sign policies that land hardest on the very people they came from. I'm not here to insult you. I'm here to warn you with love. If you help build a system that targets your own people, you may feel safe for a season because you learn the language, you learn the dress code, you learn how to smile at power. But history shows when the rules tighten, the gatekeepers get used too. And when they're done being used, they get discarded. So I'm asking you to choose wisdom over performance, solidarity over status, truth over comfort. That is not peace. That is vulnerability by design. If you tell me I have rights, but I cannot safely exercise them, if you tell me the law is neutral but is enforced unevenly, if you tell me just comply while the outcomes keep showing the same communities paying the highest price, then what you are offering is not justice, it is control. Control is always dressed up as order, but real order is not built on fear. It is built on fairness. So what do we ask for without hate, without malice, without dehumanizing anyone? Equal standards. If a right belongs to the people, it belongs to all of the people. We need to protect everyone, investigate everyone, prosecute wrongdoing consistently. Stop treating some people as permanent suspects and others as permanent innocents. Shine a light on how power is used. Shine a light on selective enforcement. Shine a light on those whose fear is honored and those whose fear is mocked. Shine a light on who gets the benefit of the doubt and gets the knee of suspicion. And to those tasked with protecting the public, protect the public, not the privileged, not the approved, not the comfortable public, all of us. Because